has a big, juicy new contract. I think it's worth discussing.
Well, we've talked about the speculation of it for 2 years. It was like, I don't know, with the feeling of relief, happy for him and then for us. And like, I no longer have to talk about what Dak Prescott's going to make, at least for a while.
It's almost like a couple dates forever, and it's like, would you just give her a ring and set a wedding date?
That is what it felt like. I was like, you know what? Good for him. Finally he asked.
It's like we can stop talking about when they're going to get married. They got married.
That is a perfect analogy for that.
So let's start. I like to think of myself as Mr. Optimism at the network. So I want to start being positive on the Dak Prescott deal. Number one, the Cowboys are uniquely wealthy. Attendance, best in the NFL, franchise worth almost $6 billion. They are able to, because of their game day revenues, because of their enormous brand appeal, to write massive guaranteed money checks that a third of the league can't write. Hell, it may be half. And because they can do that, and it's such a healthy brand, they gave Dak a boatload of guaranteed money, and that brought his cap down to only $22 million first year, meaning Dallas gets, in the first of these 4 years, a little bit of a cap break. That's good news. That means they can spend it on defense, and they should spend every penny of it on defense. The other good news is they've got 2 or 3 good draft picks. If they spend that $15 million on defense and they draft with their first 2 or 3 picks defense, with the addition of Dan Quinn, who I think is going to elevate their scheme defensively, Dallas isn't going to have to win every game 37-34. I think their defense is going to be better. I think they save in year one a little bit of cap space they can spend on defense. Here's more positives. Dak's a grown-up. Dak's responsible. He's not going to, go crazy town. He's a grown-up. He's an adult. This money's not going to do. You're not going to see him on 4,000 commercials. Dak's a head down, play hard, let's kick butt guy. Also, the story's over. Dak feels good. Cowboys have to feel somewhat good, and we don't have to talk about it anymore. Here's more positives. Dak's in the second year with Mike McCarthy, and he gets a preseason. Generally, year 2 of an offense, you're better. Here's another positive spin. The best part of Dallas, the very strongest unit's wide receiver. They're good at wide receiver. That complements Dak, and the NFL's becoming more passing-centric. All positives from Mr. Optimism at Fox Sports, Colin Cowherd. Now let's pivot into some realistic concerns. I saw this headline this morning. Dak Prescott becomes highest paid player in league history. That is not a recipe for Super Bowls. We have a recipe for Super Bowls. Young quarterbacks on rookie deals and great quarterbacks on team-friendly deals. Good quarterbacks making great money does not win Super Bowls. Tom Brady's already restructuring his deal again. Now, people say, well, the cap's going up. Folks, the cap goes up. The last 25 years, it's gone up 24 times. I talked to 2 general managers this morning. There'll be no time over the next 4 years. It'll go up, but it's called escalators. When networks sign these big deals, and you see in the blogs and the media critics, Fox goes from paying $1 billion a year to $2 billion a year. That's not what we pay for the next 2 or 3 years. They're called escalators. We go from paying 1 to 1.3 to 1.5 to 1.7. By the time the cap really explodes, this contract's over. Dak's working on the next contract. So, yeah, it's going up, but it doesn't jump up overnight. And I have this theory is that don't compare good and great. Like, I never have had a vacation in my life a great vacation. I went to Hawaii. I took the kids. We did helicopter tours. We did scuba diving. It was a lot of money. Oh, it was a lot. Oh. But when I flew back, I was like, worth every penny. I paid my daughter to go to, in Connecticut, to go to a junior high private school. I'm not going to tell you what I paid. But it was a great school. I've never once regretted paying great for great. House, education, experience, ski trip, never once. Paying great for good I almost always regret it. Dak's good. Mahomes is great. I would never have a problem paying Rodgers, Russell, Mahomes great money. Because great is a different galaxy than good. There's never going to be a time in our lifetime, even if the economy goes up, that paying $10 million for a good house is a steal. Dak's contract is never in the next 4 years going to feel like, whoo, we stole him. Man, this is team friendly. The Cowboys right now have 7 players who are good, and they pay them great. That's not good. You also have a coach who's a GM who's 78. He's your owner. I don't love it. I can be happy for the guy and not think it helps him to win playoff games. Maybe that's not the biggest thing for him, but Dak always feels like a winner to me. He's like Lamar Jackson. He's visibly angry when he walks off the field with an L. Some guys are into the money. Dak makes good money. I've never felt he's a money guy. And I don't begrudge anybody who wants to make theirs. But Dallas has one playoff win when they were paying Dak $600,000. A year from now, they're paying him $39.5 million. That is hard. I don't care how much the cap goes up, but it's not going to go up that much. It is hard to win. We have a resume and a recipe. Rookie contracts for quarterbacks and great guys taking pay cuts. So I gave you positive Uncle Colin, and now I give you realistic Uncle Colin. Dallas now has 5 players paid in the top 5 in their position. I don't think any of them are in the top 5 as talent. I don't love it. All right, now let's focus on Jerry Jones. So we talked about Dak. Let's focus on Jerry Jones. And I saw this last night. This was one of the things I kind of, when this stuff happens, I kind of like to just kind of, fish around the interweb and see what people are thinking. I got a lot of this. Oh, Jerry, very cunning. He has insight to these new TV deals, and he knows that this is just going to be no problem. Well, Jerry's owned the team for 32 years. He's had insight to TV deals the whole time. In 32 years, the Cowboys have been great once when Jimmy Johnson called the shots for football. They have never been great since. This idea that Jerry Jones suddenly has this keen insight to the new TV deals. Well, he had keen insight to the last TV deals. Jerry's one of the most powerful guys in American sports. Did it help him? Did it create a deep, efficient, talented roster with no holes? We got to slow down. I got nothing against Jerry, but Jerry's a deal maker. He's a deal maker. He loves the rush of the deal. I get it. I mean, anytime you make a big purchase or I've signed a deal, you get that 48-hour rush. And by the way, I don't think it's coincidental. Nothing happening in sports, NBA All-Star game for 2 days, and Jerry owns it. Jerry loves the big deal. Don't think he does? When he signed Amari Cooper, at that moment, he was the highest paid wide receiver ever. When he signed Zeke, he was the highest paid running back ever. When he signed DeMarcus Lawrence, he was the highest paid defensive lineman ever. When he signed Zach Martin, he was the highest paid guard ever. When he signed Tyron Smith, he was the highest paid offensive tackle ever. Jerry loves basking in that. It's a flex for a billionaire for a couple days. But since the last time they won a Super Bowl, Dallas has just 4 playoff wins. That ranks 13th in the NFC. Okay, so some of that, we concentrated yesterday on Dak, but this deal was also signed by Jerry. And this is like the 6th player who was signed by Jerry who became the highest paid player at his position. Let me ask you today, you love any of those contracts? Jalen Smith, Zach Martin, I can kind of live with, but do you like any of them? This franchise has been great once briefly. Jimmy Johnson called all the football shots. Last night, Stephen Jones, I'm told, son of Jerry, made multiple calls to Dallas media to sell this new contract. Dak crushed and rolled Jerry. He got everything. He got the money. He got the no franchise tag. He got the trade clause. Hell, might as well have signed it 2 years ago. It'd be one thing if the contract came out and it was like, well, Dak got some money, but a lot of it is based on incentives. Well, he got some guaranteed money, but he had to sign for a 5th year. Well, they can franchise. Dak got everything. Dak got everything. You couldn't have signed that a year ago? 2 years ago? You know what it felt like to me? Jerry just wanted to make a big deal and wanted to own American television. Yes and yes. But if you're going to give Dak everything, you should just sign him years ago. Well, what are we sitting around for? Okay. Coming up next, I'm going to do just